Welcome back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grumler. Wolverine. We're going to talk about programming.
Before we even get into it, dude.
Okay.
Before we even get into it.
Okay. Yes.
One, how did you get this?
Okay.
Like, what was the steps of you getting it? Just start there. How did you get it? Did you go, hey man?
No, they came to me.
I want to know the conversation.
Their programming team came to me and is like, hey, we are interested if you would like to be a guest programmer for a week of CAP. What are your thoughts? I was like, I would love to do that.
Why a week?
I don't know, because .com is 2 weeks. And
dude, I think because I'm stoked for you. I'm stoked for just us, because this is what we do. We program.
Yeah.
But programming for a week, when you program for a week, I'm not jealous, Corey. I'm not jealous. I'm stoked for him. But this,
I know what Bill's asking.
This is the problem. CrossFit is not a workout. CrossFit is not 4 workouts.
Right.
So what is the parameters that you're trying to give for a week? Did they give you parameters? Was it supposed to fit in the middle of something? Was it
see, these are the questions that I asked them because I wasn't initially given any.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, do you guys, because they have monthly focuses.
Right.
And weekly focuses, but I think the weekly focus is designed based off the week that's programmed. They're like, all right, this is what we're focusing on this week. So they're like, hey, this is the monthly focus, which, I can read. I don't know if I have it up.
Are they cool to tell? Can we find that out? Can you tell us?
Yeah, I can pull it up right here. Let me see. Let me pull this up. I get this damn new Restream studio. It's throwing me off. Monthly focus. Welcome to August. This month we'll focus on lifting heavy with an emphasis on the slow lifts. Look forward to coaching athletes through heavy back squats, deadlifts, bench presses, and the CrossFit total at the end of the month. Okay, so the total, I guess that'll be next week. Expect 1 or more workouts a week that are 20 minutes or longer. Take advantage of opportunities to run classes through muscle up skill work, leading to the hero workout Nate at the end of week 1. I didn't read that particularly before I programmed, but honestly, after reading, I was like, "Oh, damn! I did a pretty good job sticking with the monthly focus." So yeah, that's the monthly focus. But no, I didn't get really a whole bunch of buffers, and so with that, I can go through.
Yeah. So now I want to know. What. So if you did or you didn't look at okay, how are you supposed to fit this in? What lane are you going to run down? Mm-hmm. Now I want to know. It sounds to me like you basically kind of went blank slate-ish.
Sort of.
Okay.
Yes.
And with that,
mm-hmm.
what were you trying to achieve with the programming? Were you trying to showcase something? Were you just trying to go, look, I'm not trying to go look at the cool things that I program.
Right.
Or were you trying to be this is just what a normal week would be at my gym? What were you thinking before you even got into it?
So part of why, in case people don't understand why just a week, why did you only program for a week, where that question is coming from, is because our concern is the fluidity of the programming and a continuation of, if it's a theme, if it's 6 weeks, if it's 12 weeks, and a week-to-week focus, it can get a little hectic, especially if you're not looking at other things, what you did or what came previously. So I think that goes to your why a week question.
Yeah.
Is the concern there that there's no continuity of the programming, especially if it's a different person every week?
Dude, I thought it was a mistake. When you showed it to me originally, I was like, is there more? Because there's no fucking way it's going to be 1 week.
Right.
Who the heck programs 1 week? That's like saying program. What you did basically was you programmed a competition weekend. You know what I mean? Almost. It's like you did whatever 6 workouts or whatever the number is, 7 workouts, and that's it.
Right.
Shit.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pressure there.
Yeah.
Because if you're like, hey, program for 6 weeks, I'm like, cool, let's build a program. And like, you get a week. I was like, oh my gosh, that's it? I get one to
Right.
showcase.
So weird.
And so with that, and this is what I think anybody should take to guest programming, whether it's .com that you get 2 weeks on, or if you are programming CAP, and this is just my personal opinion, is that this isn't a time to flex yourself. This isn't a time to showcase anything. This isn't a time to wow anybody, because I think the wow comes with the way you've constructed the programming in a way that is highly effective for the week as you move forward. Where the wow is going to come from, a lot like how Dave talks about programming for the CrossFit Games, is what you will be able to do with these workouts different than maybe what you thought was going to happen, the way you read it on paper, and then once the clock started on 3, 2, 1, go. That's where I think programmers should put themselves in a very connective, full week of just good programming that you could do. The harder part, not the harder part, but one of the harder things was it's 7 straight days of workouts.
Yeah.
3 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off, which is how I have been programming for since the beginning.
Right. That's CrossFit programming.
Yeah. And so what does I guess to say? He's throwing me off. Wait, Chase, you got this opportunity and you didn't pass it off to one of your friends giving this out. Okay, I got it. I should probably read that before I told it up. Let's see. Clinton. What did you write above? I don't know what you write. Allocated build of the weights. I feel like it wasn't enough time or reps, especially for the deadlift. 6 reps to get to 135. You're not talking about my workout, so I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all just wait to pull up the programming, and then I'll show you. It wasn't .com. It's CAP.
Right.
Not program.com. This is CrossFit affiliate programming.
Were you aiming? Did you have a specific population in mind when you were looking at it? Or were you thinking like your old
just like
Big D days, or like,
yep.
Okay.
Hey, what's going to be? I was thinking how we do big picture, mythological creature, CrossFitter that can handle this to get stimuluses, right? So for me, I always look at stimuluses and then what can I do to achieve these certain stimuluses per day, time frames, modality, movement patterns that work together or against each other, but also work with each other from day to day in the entirety of the week. And so what I did was I back engineered 3 previous weeks leading up to my week of CAP. So I because what could have easily have done is here's what I really wanted to do. And I've wanted to do this for .com. So spoiler alert, if I ever get 2 weeks of .com, this is what I'm going to do. My constantly varied idea is to show people the variance you can create with a monostructural weightlifting gymnastic workout every day for 2 weeks. And how creative you can get with a really focused concept. You'll have one of those movements for every day. That's been my thing. I was like, you can go short, you can go long, you can do AMRAPs, you can do EMOMs, you can do death buys, you can do strength, power development with all these things. And I wanted to show how creative you could be in a limited format of that. That was my first reaction. But once I saw 3 weeks, I'm like, oh, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that's a little too much of a massive change from week to week. And so as I started building it out, I was writing down, I was like, okay, they've had these the last 3 weeks. This was the Sunday workout, and I wanted this on my Monday workout. Now I can't do that because it's like thrusters into thrusters or something like that. And so I analyzed the week for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then it was like, all right, here's everything we've done. Here are the time frames, and now, okay, we're going to get to my week. Excuse me.
Do they program week to week, or like do they have guest programmers like that for CAP that we've heard of?
They have their team, and their team works together. So it's not just like random person. I am the random person.
Okay.
They got put with this group, but this group works together with each other. But say one of them does 1 week, the other one does another week, the other one, but it's all in one spot that everybody could see.
Right. So everyone can kind of look at everything to build and okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clinton, yes, pit stop. Yeah, I'll address that. If you didn't have enough time, then you fucked up. So, it makes no sense. But we'll get there. So please keep asking your question, and I cannot wait to answer it, of which I did this morning. And then you submit your workouts, and then they respond with how they look at them or where they want to put them. And what I landed on was I wanted to do, instead of the WMG triplet every day, I was like, you know what I'll do is I'll do 3 couplets to start the week. 1 monostructural gymnastic, 1 gymnastic weightlifting, and then 1 weightlifting monostructural. So it's like, okay, we get 3 pairs and they're all different. And then in the middle of the week, I'll do a WMG style workout that has all 3 in a triplet. And at the end of the week, I'm going to have 3 triplets of single modalities, right? So if I did weightlifting monostructural on Monday, on Thursday, the movement that I didn't do at all is gymnastics. So I'll do a triplet of just gymnastics, and then a triplet of just monostructural, and then a triplet of just weightlifting. So that was my piece. What happened is they mixed some days around based off what they thought would be better for group classes and stuff. So I didn't get the exact order I wanted. I got most of all the workouts that I had landed on, and I did have to change one massively, which I think is actually the most underrated workout of the week. You see this?
How'd the ego feel?
That's my whiteboard of just like brain vomit.
How did the ego feel when they said anything? It's like, how dare you? How dare you put a red pen to my?
Yeah.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I would have been that way.
It was.
I don't want to play your game. You know what? Do your own workouts.
Yeah. It's like, hey, this one's a little too hard. I'm like, for who? It's like, for Gen Pop or something like that, right? And so I'll tell you what the workout was because I was digging it.
Okay, I can't wait.
And then I'll show you it. So we'll we'll go into it. We'll go day by day, and you guys please ask questions, even if your name is Clinton, as these things come up. Oh, my name is not Bill Grunler. God, I got to stop doing this.
I think it's because I switched it.
I know you come in, and then I enter the studio after you, and then I just forget to change my name. All right, so here's the whole week. We'll go day by day. So the first couplet, I was like, man, I want to do an open like workout. And so open like workout meaning movements that have been in the open for a long time, a time frame that is very common to the open, and a rep scheme, format, and flow that was very open like. And so this is a weightlifting monostructural couplet. It's 7 minutes long, and it's wall balls and double unders. Wall ball, I tried to get it to 10 feet, and they totally shut it down.
Dude, I know. I saw that. I'm like, okay, I know that there is no way that he put that.
Yeah. They're like, no. I was like, okay, well, I just want it on the record that I submitted everybody going to 10 feet.
That's fair. That's fair.
And so what it is obviously if you guys are listening to this, you can't see what's on screen right now, is 5 wall ball shots, 20 and 14 pounds to a 10-foot target, followed by 15 double unders. After every round, you increase 5 and 15. So 5:15, 10:30, 15:45. And the idea was that 5 wall ball shots take somewhere between 10 to 15 seconds with transitions and 15 double unders take about the same amount of time.
Right.
Let's just say 10 to 15, 30 seconds per round. So that the time frame was even, but the way you did things was completely different. Squat, press to throw, and then just bounding with shoulders and leg fatigue, but nothing got a break. And it gets hard really quick. And so what I'd love to see is that you just burn it down. And once you get to that like 20 mark, 25, getting into 30, it's just, how far can you get into that that round. So this one was great because everybody's going to get theirs. The one thing I had for people is if they didn't have double unders, then they would do seconds of work or singles, right? The options that we gave them.
Right.
Because it is so fast, you don't want someone sitting there sucking at double unders for 2 minutes.
It's not a time to learn double unders.
No, it's not, right? It's like, all right, you either do singles and not like twice as many singles. So like singles or 15 seconds of work, 30 seconds of work, 45 seconds of work, and just keep them moving. And just something very easy to facilitate, but done correctly, you got a good dose of intensity here.
Right.
And that's a big theme of the week. Is I wanted people to truly understand intensity versus volume.
How did you pick? I like what the setup is on this, and I think you're right. The way that it increases, how it would feel, the time frame between the two, the time allotted between each one of the movements and stuff like that. Like why'd you pick 7? I know that. Like did you pick 7 because you figured, okay, they should probably hit this many rounds? Is that how you came up to that? Like, do you wanted them to get to X amount of wall balls? Or what were you looking at?
So I picked the time frame first and changed the rep scheme to fit the number that I wanted to get to.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right? So it's like, all right, I want it 7 minutes, right? Open time. I wanted an ascending rep scheme because any ascending rep scheme work we've ever had in the open is for 7 minutes. But I was like, how can we get to 100 plus wall ball shots with a decent effort? I was like, all right, so that's going to be 5 rounds would be 75. So getting into that round of 30, you're approaching 100. And the double unders, you're approaching 225.
Yeah.
So it's really not a high, and I mean total.
Yeah.
You're really not, it's not a high volume, it's just high intensity.
Yeah, totally.
So that's where I started time frame first, and then I fit the rep scheme and movement patterns second.
Okay.
That's what I did for their first one.
Cool.
I did this one. I enjoyed it.
Of course, when I saw this one, I go, duh.
Yeah.
Wall balls and double unders, like, of course.
All right. So Tuesday is I guess I could just look at these and just get really close. Yeah, I like that better. Yeah, interval-based workout. Every 3 minutes for only 5 sets, 200-meter run, and then a gymnastics complex. So now we have, right, so I had weightlifting monostructural, and now I have monostructural into gymnastics. And then a complex on the rig of 7 pull-ups, 5 chest-to-bar pull-ups, 3 bar muscle-ups. The object is to have a minimum, a 1-to-1 work-to-rest ratio. So you're doing 90 seconds of work, and you get 90 seconds of rest. I don't want to say it's minimum. That was the goal. Minimum was 1 minute. Right? So 2 minutes of work, which is why I picked some of the things I did. I wanted a Helen effect here, where if you just casually do this workout, it will be a waste of your time. If you jog slow, you do 7 pull-ups and rest, 5 chest-to-bar and rest, 3 bar muscle-ups and rest. You're like, okay, what did I just do? But if you try to say collectively your time is the score, it's like send the run and go unbroken on the rig. Because if everybody goes unbroken on the rig, which is a skill in and of itself, it's still 15 reps, but it's 75 total.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have to outrun people. And by the 3rd round, like you're like, okay, legs are feeling it, getting gas. But by the end of that, you almost recover completely to start the next round. So it's on the athletes to really just push the pace here. And what I wanted is it's only 15 minutes. So it gives you ample time to teach your class how to do a pull-up, how to do a chest-to-bar, how to do a bar muscle up. Even if they can't do them, you should be teaching them how, so that when they are doing scaled versions of these, they know where they could go and how to get there.
Yeah. I like the fact I can see like if I was explaining this workout I would probably put in there, you will have a minimum of 1 minute rest, meaning I will stop you at 2 minutes on every one. You know what I mean? To explain that, because I think a lot of times, just like what you said, people look at this and go, okay, well, I can just cruise and I can make this easy in 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to turn this into a 15-minute,
Right.
basically almost like an AMRAP, where you're feeling the whole 3 minutes. They're feeling, that whole round takes the 3 minutes. So I liked what it is. Were you intending? Did you have the 21-15-9 complex in mind as you were thinking about this, trying to see people go unbroken on the 753?
That was the goal. I'll speak for myself as I wasn't able to hold on to the 3. I had to come down from the 5. So I did 7-5 unbroken, came down, and then reset to do the bar muscle ups.
Okay.
That's just what I did. Partly just because where my fitness level is and my rig work stamina is that was just a quick drop, reset, and then hop back up there for the 3.
Yeah.
Trish, these are great questions. What's the scaling options here? There's a lot of scaling options here. One is if you have the ability to do all of these, then less of them, right? It's like 6-4-2,
5-3-1,
5-3-1, right? Try to keep the skill as much as possible. If not, then tier the skills. So instead of 3-bar muscle ups, you just bump everything up one. It ends with chest to bar. In the middle is regular pull-ups, and then maybe on the 7, it's ring rows,
right,
or kip swings, or whatever your scale for a certain pull-up could be. And then you go from there. Okay, you don't have chest to bar? Okay, bump it all up one. Your final round is chin over bar pull-ups, and then it's ring rows, and then or jumping pull-ups, or jumping chest to bar. Like that's what the idea would be first, is just scale the skill if you don't have the skill in terms of volume. So I'd scale volume first, and then the skill second.
Okay, and talking about scaling on here, just to get your, I mean, I know what I would probably do if this was the workout in our class. Let's say you have someone that's the other way. They're physically, gymnastic-wise, their upper body, they're great. They can do all that stuff, but they got a twisted ankle, so they're not able to do the run. What would you have them do for the run part? Like, what was the time frame for the run that you were looking at?
For the run, anywhere between 45 to 60 seconds.
Okay, so like if they were on the bike, would you have them do certain calories? Would you have them go, okay, I want you to ride for 45 seconds or something?
If I put them on the bike, I would probably say somewhere around 15 to 12 cals on the bike. And then, or if they don't have the ability to, and that's usually for like an injured person who is fit and knows where they're at, or go the route like we do with double unders, which I've done too, is like, hey, just give me a solid effort on a bike, on a rower for 45 seconds.
Got it. Yeah.
And then get off and then get to the rig.
Like it.
Yeah. So that was couple number 2. It was fun.
I liked seeing that one. Right away. I was all 21-15-9. I like that.
Yeah.
What if I could do those all unbroken? That was what I was thinking. Like the second I thought.
Yeah, and like another option, like if I was programming this for like a games person, it's like I would probably double the rounds.
Oh yeah.
Right, and then you're getting 70, 50, and 30, and that's plenty for the day.
Yeah.
All right, Wednesday. This is a weightlifting gymnastics couplet. Now, what I had in day 1, I had squats, I had bounding with the jump rope. On day number 2, we had running and pulling with the gymnastics. On day 3, I'm doing carrying because my legs are really sore. I don't squat as much because my knee's been pretty bad, but I was like, I got to do this one. So I was really sore. My lats were sore from the intensity on Tuesday. And so for me, looking at this is like, what are the 2 movements I can do that 1, we haven't done, 2, does not necessarily conflict with what we've already done. I was like, all right, so I'm not going to pull yet because I'm going to do that later, especially with weightlifting. I was like, well, let's just do some carries. I wanted to get something old school in there. So I thought farmer carries. And then I wanted to do a pressing from gymnastics. And I was like, oh, let's just go like super old school. We'll do farmer carries and wall walks.
What I think was the coolest thing about this, and I talk about this kind of stuff with a lot of the people that we have in my own gym. We preach intensity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we understand what that stimulus is supposed to be. Like intensity doesn't mean hard. Like those are two totally different things. And as a programmer, you can design something that is like when you tell your class, all right, guys, we're just go hard. We're going hard today.
Yeah.
You know, and then one of the complaints about CrossFit from outsiders are all you care about is this high intensity, you know, all the time.
Right.
This workout is a hard workout,
Yeah.
but not high intensity.
No, but
It's
it
not
gets
super.
there, right?
No, no.
And it's
Well, no,
in its
it gets
relative way.
hard, man.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it isn't hard, but this is nothing like the other ones that you just did, where you're having to run super fast and get through the gymnastic, or you're
Mhm.
blazing super fast on the 7. You know, this isn't. We talk high intensity like Fran.
Right.
We're not talking like, yes, this is still hard. Like I
Mhm.
would never tell someone, well, just go 70%. No, go hard, but I
Yeah.
will control your intensity on this. You can only go so fast once you get after 4 rounds of wall walks for your general population.
Mhm.
You know, I like how this
Yeah.
definitely changes that. It's right in the realm of like, it's still hard.
It
But
was a
you
slow
are
burn,
doing
dude.
you are changing and
Yeah.
affecting the intensity, which I love. I think that's great.
It was a
That's the
slow
power of
burn.
the programmer right there, and I love that.
Thank you. And this was the finish off my trio of couplets. And the other part here was, okay, I had a fixed 7 minutes of max intensity, but a fixed pace. You can only do
Right.
wall ball so fast. You can only do double under so fast before you get to the realm of missing. So this was just constant pressure for 7 minutes. And it got worse because the volume increased. And then I went to the second one, which was interval-based high sprints. Still, I mean, collectively, even if it was like 60 seconds, I think Keith Knapp did these all between 1 minute and 105.
Yeah.
I was more towards, speaking of, geez, speak of the devil. No offense, Keith. I don't think you're the devil, but. And I was closer to just trying to get under 130. Right? But Keith is really fast and he hang onto the bar. I'm not very fast and I'm just happy that I'm doing bar muscle-ups again.
Yeah.
So that's 5 to 7.5 minutes of maximal intensity, right? This is the one where you can race and you can push the pace. And then this one was pushing that 20-minute mark, which I think surprised people because you see this like, all right, carry, walk, all right, what? 15 to 20 minutes? Like 15 minutes if you're a baller, but 20 minutes if you're fit.
Yeah.
Like this is closer to the 20 to 25 minute, so we went a bit long. And who said this? I think not Trish said this. Augusta said this is no. It's Matthew. I hope this is you, by the way. The amount of interference here is sneaky, and it's like you are exactly correct. And I love that you guys can pick up on that because kettlebells in a farmer carry fatigue your traps and shoulders and try like everything so much with grip and shoulder fatigue. And then I flip you upside down, and you have to use that. But it's only 3, so you can't exactly move slow. If this was 5, it would be a completely different workout.
Yep. Yeah.
And it was nice to do after everything that I did. I thought it was a great way to move into the week. So yeah, that's my Wednesday. Now, I wanted the next one to be the interval-based WMG. However, they decided not to because we'll put it on a Thursday because they're a smaller class time. And I think this goes to Clinton's issue is in a large group class setting, there's a lot of weights here, but this is a workout I programmed at Big D for our comp crew of, hey, let's see what you're made of in a Fran-like intensity battle of weightlifting movement. So this is actually a weightlifting triplet, and I called it Pit Stop. And there's a couple reasons why I called it Pit Stop. It's a take on a 21-15-9 format. It's 21 deadlifts at 315 and 225. They let me keep the 225. I thought they were going to force me to 205.
Really?
I fought for it.
I'd have been pissed.
Into 15 hang power cleans at 155 and 225. And then 9 squat clean thrusters at 85 and 135. I wanted 95, but the concession was the 225 on the deadlift, which I was like, all right, fine.
Oh my God.
And the idea here is not only is it pit stop because it has to be fast, but there's a couple ways you can do this. Pit stop, as in for it's a 3-plate workout, right? It's 45, 45, 45 if you're a dude. It's 25, 70, 25, 35, 35 if you're a girl. And it's 21 deadlifts, shed your
Strip it.
clips, shed your plates, slap them back on and go. So the pit stop is part of the changing your plates, like changing a tire on a car in the pit stop. So I almost like the name more than I like the workout, but I really like the workout. This is a 3 to 5 minuter. This is if you don't have all your boxes checked in intensity under maximum fatigue, like this will shock you about halfway through your hang power cleans.
I think that's the crux of the whole deal right there.
It is. And it's how you navigate the deadlifts, because if you disrespect the deadlifts and just blow through them, you're going to pick up that hang power clean bar and you're like, no problem. Because you just shed 90 pounds off your bar.
Yeah.
And you feel great. And then you're going to get like 6
5.
reps in.
I was going to say, yeah, totally.
5 reps in, you're going to drop the bar and you're like, oh. No. Oh no.
Did you pick hang power cleans because you wanted the that tension on the posterior chain, or why did you go hang and not like a full?
Because I wanted the range of motion to change. So deadlift, floor to hang power clean, hang to shoulder. And then it was thrusters, but thrusters are a little bit too easy to do at the end of this. And I wanted just as much range of motion as possible. So I went hang to shoulder, right, or to hang to shoulder, and then floor to squat to press overhead.
Yeah.
And to also extend the time a little bit, because I didn't want just like, okay, 15 hanging power cleans and just it's a race for thrusters.
Yeah.
Because if you have to come back down to the floor, which is why I have it hang there, because you do get technically a little bit of a power clean from the floor to start your thruster. It just adds a little bit more time. It evens out that balance a little bit, and it makes it much more harder to hang on to the bar if you think you can. Mm-hmm. Which it was, I love this workout.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. The first thing that jumped out at me was the hang power cleans. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That is good. And just the weight of it.
I will say the team was nervous about the weight.
Why?
Like, that's heavy. I was like, you scale it. What are we afraid of? We're not.
They have it up. Okay. If they don't, could you ask them, or do they have the statement, program for the best and scale for the rest? It's like right out of the level 1 deal. Do they have that written down anywhere? Because
no, and I think they do look at it a little bit different as more of like a Gen Pop affiliate community, because it is CrossFit affiliate programming versus .com.
I would program these exact weights for my affiliate.
I did this with my affiliate.
So then that's what I'm saying. But we come from that cut though of program for that. This doesn't mean that like, okay, we're programming only for Colton Mertens.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like program for the best, to where a games athlete could do it and they would get a great workout, or all the badasses in there, they could do it. It would do what we need to do. If these weights were lower, it would not be the same. At all.
Right. And here's where I will bring up, Clinton, you commented, so I'm going to bring it up. Where is this? And this is not to, okay. The time allocated to build up to the weights, I feel like wasn't enough time or reps, especially for the deadlifts. 6 reps to get to 143 just felt like I was rushed. Or am I wrong? All right, so you're asking a question. 1, you're totally wrong that it should not take, right? Put a cap of 10 minutes on this event, or this workout on this event. It's a cool event. 10 minutes, right? Even if you have 16, 20 people, it's 2 heats. If you don't have those amount of plates, then all right, well, I can't help you there. But if you have to take that long to warm up to a 315-pound deadlift, which coming from me, who sucks at deadlift, it's too heavy for you. You should be able to warm up. If you can't go 45-pound plate, 3 deadlifts, 2 hang power cleans, 1 cluster, and then throw, a warm-up weight, like a mid-weight, right? Throw 25 on there. All right, 3, 2, 1. Not the 1, 220. Like if you can't warm up to this in 5 minutes, then it's too heavy.
I don't, if that's the case, like what's your 1 rep max deadlift?
Right. Or like, what is your coach telling you what it's supposed to be here? Like it says here, it's like, this is a 5-minute workout. Now it didn't take me 5 minutes. It took me a little longer, but I scaled this, right? 315 and 225 wasn't in the cards today. I tried it in warm up and the 225, I was like, okay, I'm going to break my wrist. But what I did was I did 135 for the clusters. I did 185 for the hang power cleans, which is a 25. And then I just threw another 45 and a 275 for the deadlifts. And I went as hard as I could. Because that's the point.
Yeah.
Now, another way to have fun with this, which is in the notes, is you can make this a team thing. Me and 3 dudes are all going to get together and pick the weights that work for our group. It's going to be me, Bill, and let's just say John Young because he'd be amazing at this. John's going first. 3, 2, 1, go. Me and Bill are playing pit crew.
Oh, yeah.
John's going to rip off 21 deadlifts. We're going to shed the plates and slap the clips on. And then he's going to go 15 hang power cleans in a row. We're going to shed, and he does 9 clusters. And then we're going to stack it all back, and then Bill's going to run around, and then he's going to go. And the next person's going to go. If you can't, we're going to start a series. I haven't told Bill this, but I've decided that. And I think you're going to be down with this. We're going to start a series, and it's going to be called Why Your Affiliate Sucks.
Oh, dude, I'm down to do that.
And we're going to go through coaching as a show, equipment maintenance as a show, gym maintenance as a show, programming as a show, and community building as a show. It's going to be a 5-part series of why your affiliate sucks and why it's not our, no, I don't say our because I'm speaking for CrossFit. I should probably not do that. This is not their show. This is my show. But if you can't figure out a fun way to make this work for a group class, that's on you. I'm speaking to the coach, not you, Clinton. You asked a very good question, and I hope these answers are helping.
Man, I would have so much fun doing this. And if you put a 5-minute time frame on here, you know how you set it up? You set it up like it's the open. So you take your 16-person class and cut it down to 8-person, and you have 1 person judging to yell and scream and cheer them on, and then 5 minutes in between, then they get to go. Mm-hmm. You have plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Hey, here's your hour-long class. I'm not even looking at this. It's like, welcome to the class. I'll give everybody 3 to 5 minutes to bullshit, hang out, and whatever, right? That's what I usually did.
Yeah.
Mingle. I'll mingle with you.
Yeah.
All right, 5 past the hour. Hey, guys, come over to the whiteboard. 5 minutes go by. Here's the intent. Here's the sequence. Here's what you're going to do. Okay, 10 minutes in. Now, here's a general warm-up. That should take 5 minutes. The basic one we always do to just get everybody going to just do that Pavlov dog bell thing is like, oh, we're warming up. My body's ready. My mind's getting prepped. And then another specific warm up and then go through the deadlifts and then go through the hang power. It's like you're 30 minutes in and you've already done all the warming up you need to. Yeah. Now I'm giving you another 10 minutes to figure out what weights are perfect for you, which you should have figured out in your specific warm up. And then you either team up, group up, or go by yourself. If you can't do this in an hour, that's
a really bad coach.
You're a bad coach. Period. It's a 5-minute workout. We're giving you 10 minutes. What did you do for 50 of those minutes that you couldn't get a class through? Unless you have 1 barbell for men, women, and 6 plates. Then get out of your garage and go to affiliate. All right. Trish asked a good question. Where's the rest days? There are no rest days in CAP. If there was a rest day,
I like that though. I like that. Here's why. I program every single day in my gym.
Right.
The reason is because not every single member in your gym goes the exact same days to do 3 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off, or whatever. They don't have that. When I started with Fire, everyone's schedules were different. So if I put in a rest day, it's like, well, yeah, but now I have a time that I could do the workout. And I know that a lot of people, and I think you did this too, was here's our rest day. You can go back and make up one of the workouts you missed or something like that.
Yes.
So I like that this at least gives options for everyone.
And that's why they do it.
Yeah. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
So, all right. Okay, Friday. I think you'll really like this one too. Friday.
I did like this one.
This is a way I wanted to show how you can use weightlifting movements, monostructural movements, and gymnastics movements to develop speed, power, and stamina. Right? Not necessarily strength in a section, but you have 3 different stations. You'll be 2 minutes, 30 seconds of work, 90 seconds to rotate to the next station. Station 1, 30 seconds, max toes to bar. As many as you can do in 30 seconds, you get a score, and then you move on. Station 2, 30 seconds, max overhead squats at 135 and 95. I got to keep my 95 there.
Nice.
90 seconds of rest, move to the rower, 30 seconds, max cal row. Your score is your total reps completed over the course of 5 rounds of work. So this is 30 minutes of actual workout time, but just, 7.5 minutes of work being done at very high intensity. And what I wanted here was, okay, toes to bar is that anterior core flexion with the gymnastics movement hanging from the rig. Rowing is a posterior drive leg hip extension through an arm pull. And overhead squats right there in the middle get taxed on both ends, and you have to have all your ducks in a row to be able to hold that overhead squat after getting fatigued in the anterior and posterior core, as well as shoulder fatigue from the hanging, shoulder fatigue from the pulling. And I think if you have the capacity in all of these, your reps are going to be very similar across the board. Right? 30 seconds, let's just say general average for a fit person. I would say you're getting 10 to 15 on average per round. Bill, you're probably getting 15 plus.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2 seconds a rep, so there's not a lot of room there to get too much. So that's why I say 10 to 15.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Overhead squats, right? 10 to 15. 10 is 1 rep every 3 seconds. 15 is 1 rep every 2 seconds. And an overhead squat at that weight is not a fast movement. So continuous steady movement, 10 to 15 reps for someone who's picked the right weight and has good capacity. That's your rep scheme. On a 30-second cal row, it's still 10 to 15. Like if you're getting 10 cals in 30 seconds, that's a 20 cal pace for a minute.
Yeah, which is
if you're getting 15, right? If you're getting 15, now we're at 30. To get 15, you're probably rowing north of 1,800 cals per hour. Now do that 5 times. So the time frames are all the same. The reps that are available are nearly all the same, and you're just moving in three different planes in a sense, using 3 different modalities.
Yeah. When you were originally thinking this, what made you pick 30 seconds rather than 1 minute to go 1-to-1? Why'd you go 1 to 130? Was it because, like, if you were looking at toes to bar, like if you were gonna have a break in that all-out sprint, you'd probably have that break at 30 seconds? Were you kind of thinking that? Because that's about what it was. I think I could hold on for 30 seconds.
Right.
A minute?
I think for all of these, you can do for 20, and the last 10 is where the magic happens.
Right.
Like I think 20 seconds of toes to bar, you're approaching 10 plus unbroken, right? Is very good. Overhead squats the same, rowing the same. Is the first 20 seconds, you're like, okay, then the last 20 seconds, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Right.
And especially to hold that intensity, especially like on the row.
Right.
To hold that.
I mean, think about coming off that row and then going back to toes to bar, and then you come back to the over to squat bar.
Yeah, you're actually really happy that you have 1.5 minutes to rest.
Exactly, and that's what I wanted. I wanted more rest so that people can recover and get, more output, more intensity.
Yep.
And just like any of these, if you decide to loaf them, this will be a waste of your time. And you know who should help you figure out how that time is supposed to be managed? Your coach. I really like this one. I wish it was the midpoint of the week because it would have split things really nice, but yeah, that's that. All right, Saturday, my monostructural triplet. What does this look like, people out there watching?
Triple threes.
Triple threes, yes. Triple threes partitioned, but with somewhat equal time designation per movement. So the original triple threes was 300 double under. No, 3,000 meter row, right? Or was it double under?
Yeah, in a row, then double under, then
3,000 meter row, 300 double unders, 3 mile run.
Yep.
Okay, 3,000 meter row if you're rowing steady, we'll say 12 minutes. That's 4 minutes per 1,000. 300 double unders are probably going to take more like 4 to 5 minutes. And 3 mile run is going to be north of 20. So the time designations are not equal. And I was like, I wanted to make something that was as equal as possible. And it's always hard to nail in double unders when you're working with the other monostructural movements. But I was like, okay, 1,000 meter row, 800 meter run, those are about 4 minutes equally. So I like to keep that there. The double unders north of 100. So 120. Bill, do you want to guess of why I picked 120?
Let's see.
It's think more OCD.
No, I'm trying to think. OCD. That's what I'm. Oh, 8, 10, 12.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, all right, 100 double unders, 1,000 meter row. And then I was like, do I do a 1,000 meter run? No, that's longer than it should be. I was like, oh, I'll do 120 double unders because it's 120, 180. There's a 12, 10. Yeah. So that's why I did that.
I got it. I got you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I got that.
Now we went long, but we went long with just pure monostructural because we did a short blast barbell triplet. We did this interval based WMG, and now we're just going long. Just get it done. And that simple. And the question was earlier that came from the team was, well, double unders twice. Don't you think that'd be too much? I'm like, no, because in the first one, the double unders are partitioned and the most you're getting to is maybe 200, broken up into 5 or 6 sets. You'll be okay. Plus that was on Monday.
I'm kind of surprised that they asked that.
I was too.
Really?
I was like,
of all the things, that's the one you question?
I know. And this is why I wanted Fridays to be on Thursdays, because to break it up, I wanted the I didn't like the row back to back there.
Yeah.
That was not my choice.
So they wait. They asked about the double unders, but they didn't say anything about the row?
No.
Dude.
Hey,
some consistency. That's all I want.
Listen, we had the conversation. It was a good conversation.
Okay, cool.
Good conversation.
Cool.
So that's what I had on Saturday. And then, yeah, very straightforward. But we went long with the almost 20 minutes of the carries and the handstand walks. But what wasn't in that was monostructural.
Yep.
So my other long one picks up the one piece we didn't have early in the week. All right, Sunday. This is the one where I had something different and they made me change it. But I also think this is the one that everybody is just going to bypass as a boot camp workout. And if they do it the right way, this will be the one that eats their lunch in a way that will be very humbling, I would say, to them. So it's a chipper. 25 burpees, just burpees, old school. Burpees, 50 mat sit-ups, 25 burpees, 50 mat sit-ups, 25 burpees. Every 2 minutes, you have to do 10 air squats, and you start with squats. So I'm doing a gymnastics push from the floor with the burpee and a jump. I'm doing an anterior core flexion with the sit-up, and now I'm getting below parallel with the squat because I did all pulling gymnastics on Tuesday. So I didn't bring him in here for this remake. The reason why is if nobody's done a burpee toes to bar or burpee sit-up couplet at max intensity, I don't think you guys have experienced core failure to a degree of which you need to participate in. And squats mixed with mat sit-ups are awful.
Man, totally.
Your legs never you think sitting with your legs splayed out, you're like, no. The pump gets so much worse.
Yeah. That's the we have all these people that do these GHDs and those toes to bar, we do all this, and then you do like Annie, the 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh my God, my abs are so sore. I just did sit-ups.
Right.
It's the same because of the speed that you're going.
Yes. And that's why I just picked these. This is such a benign burpees, sit-ups, and air squats. And I was like, all right, if I have to change it.
I think it's super fun. I think people would look at this and they wouldn't cherry pick it because it looks so like, oh, that's
Yeah, I know how it reads.
this is the classic where it's like, okay, the first rule of CrossFit is if you think it's too easy, then that will be the one that like levels you and buries you in the corner somewhere because it's so hard. This will be one of those ones like, oh yeah, oh, this isn't that bad. Okay.
Mhm.
And then they'll get in, they'll be like, oh my God.
Yeah. You'll get to the second round of sit-ups, 10 reps in, and you do the sit-up where you throw your hands, but your body doesn't move anymore.
Yeah.
You'll grab the short sit-up.
Yeah.
Throw my hands, grab my knees, sit up from the floor.
Someone had a comment about it looking like P90X, and you even made a comment about how it looks boot campy.
Yeah.
Something that people, and this goes right back to one of the opening questions that I had for you, or statements that I had for you, was that CrossFit is not a workout. If you do Fran, it doesn't mean that you're doing CrossFit. You're doing burpees and pull-ups like that, or thrusters and pull-ups. It's the grouping of all of it and how it's all put together. That's what makes it CrossFit.
Right.
So this is, whether it looks like P90X or boot campy or whatever, cool.
Yeah.
Because it very well could be in a boot camp class, but it's what other things are you doing with it?
And this is at CrossFit time frame 10 to 15 minutes that people don't think it is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, 6 minutes. I was like, no. 25 burpees. Just do 25 burpees as fast as you can.
Yeah.
But you got to start with air squats.
Yeah.
Okay. They're like, all right, I can get it. I can get it in a minute. I'm like, cool. What else are you going to do after that? Right. So you'll probably do 50 MAT sit-ups takes almost 2 minutes if you do it right. Like MAT sit-ups are not fast. Right? Yeah, Sean, we know you're just being funny. But with my triplets, it's 5-minute blast with just a barbell. It's a 30+ minute endeavor with running, jump rope, and a machine. And then it's a 10 to 15 body weight only. I'll give you the workout that got shut down.
Yes.
It's on my board. It was Angie-ish. So it was 100 pull-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 push-ups. But every 2 minutes, I had you do 10 air squats. So
why would that get shut down?
They said the volume of pull-ups was too much. I was like, all right, well, I'm not just going to do like 50 pull-ups.
Right.
50, 75, 100. And I was like, well, here's my backup.
I think that's valid.
Yeah.
That's valid. That's good. I think it's fun. I think it looks fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my week. I just wanted pit stop and here switched. That's all. So you got your 3 different ways to do a couplet. You got your WMG, and then you have your 3 monostructural weightlifting gymnastic triplets. And that is my week of cap.
That's pretty cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
It was really funny when they published it on, I guess what, Monday. I was so nervous, but I didn't tell, I don't know if I copped out because I didn't tell anybody that was coming.
Well, it was weird. That's why I didn't understand what you were like when you told me. I was like, "What are you talking? I don't even know."
Yeah,
you're like, as a friend. I'm like, about what, dude?
Be gentle. Be gentle with me. This is my first time. But I had a blast. I thought it was really cool. The team that was working with me were super accommodating with concessions of like, hey, I really want this to be a thing, and we talked through it. And this is my goal. This is my intent. This was it was great. And
that's cool.
I got most of everything I wanted. But it was funny. Is like looking back in the 3 weeks prior to, it's like it cut out a lot of things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that was it. But I think just things to do in the future is recapping a week of cap or a week of .com. I think would be fun to do on a weekly basis. But I really want to start that Why Your Affiliate Sucks series.
I think that would be fun.
And it's to help, right?
Yeah.
Clinton should come back and listen to that. I don't think they liked our answers. Just to educate. We try to educate you guys on programming. We can educate you on how to. I see it. I see it too much. It drives me crazy. It's like a part of this is to show you is like, it's not volume. Like if you program too much stuff, it's because you're a bad coach and you don't want to actually have to take the time to teach someone how to do something. You just want to tell them to do it. And I'm so tired of seeing that.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of seeing that. But it was super fun. I'm really appreciative that they asked me to do it. I hope they ask me again. It was much harder than I thought it was going to be, but I think I just put a bunch of pressure on myself.
No, totally. Without a doubt.
And you're like, listen, I get 1 week to showcase this.
Yeah. I mean, no matter how you look at it, there's going to be pressure on that, dude, for sure.
I spent a lot of time on this. Not what I would normally do. If like, hey, you got 6 weeks. I'm like, all right, we'll get there. They're not all going to be winners. Yeah. So
it's all good.
It was fun. But pit stop crushed me. I have a long way to go. A long way to go. But all right, gang. Thanks for rolling with us on a Friday. Bill's got to go coach. I think Shut Up and Scribble is in an hour.
Yeah, they're coming up.
Friday time.
Yeah.
Yeah, in an hour. And then CrossFit Games update show tonight on the Savan podcast.
I'll be on that with those guys.
I feel like Savan show is doing like 4 shows today.
Dude, it's nuts.
They did a morning one and then another one with Tyson, and then Shut Up and Scribbles next, and then you guys are tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for rolling with us. Hope you like the programming. I appreciate the feedback and anything you guys have, and we'll continue something like this in the future. Have a great weekend. Bye.